Welcome to yet another exciting episode of Branding Banter, your promotional podcast, where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA.
Oh, I'm Meg Erber, the one and only.
And Stephen McFadden with TSC Incorporated.
Awesome. And we're also joined today by a special guest, first time on the podcast, first guest for the new podcast, Josh Applebaum. Why don't you say hi to everybody?
Hey, everybody. Josh Applebaum, Chief Strategy Officer at Vantage Apparel. Happy to be here. Appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. Awesome. Good stuff. And look, we are brought to you today by our new sponsors. We've got ASI with Promo Alliance. And look, if you haven't heard about Promo Alliance, it's an awesome initiative that ASI has put together, basically partnering with PSI in Germany and Sourcing City in the UK. But with global promo marketplace becoming more interconnected, savvy North American distributors and suppliers are interested in learning more about international promo businesses and who are strategic, respected, and reputable. Promo Alliance, an initiative between ASI, PSI in Germany, and Sourcing City in the UK. It's a platform to promote networking and a sharing of industry knowledge and data on a global level, believing that leveraging reciprocity of ideas in the international promo marketplace makes us all stronger, smarter, and more successful. So go to promoalliance.com to get exclusive data on promo markets in North America, Europe, and the UK, info on global trade shows and events, assistance in networking with promotional professionals in other countries, and access to webinars with top professionals in global marketplaces or in the global promo markets. For information, reach out to Michelle Bell at ASI, who's been covering the international promo marketplace for 25 years. It's mbell at asicentral.com. So thank you guys so much for sponsoring. And Josh, I know we've got you on here. It's one thing at a time, Stephen. One thing at a time.
I was just gonna weigh in real quick on the Promo Alliance thing, because having now gone to PSI and having met Michelle in person for the first time, this is really, really awesome, because I hadn't met her before. What? So I had to go all the way across the world to meet her, and it was amazing. Other than meeting a podcast and whatnot, but with the whole Promo Alliance piece, it's awesome because it does make the world smaller a little bit, and you can learn about how you can capture more of the global market. So I think it's super awesome. And
I'm sure drinking beers in Dusseldorf has done nothing for your
liquid bread, as they called it, because they don't feed you, so you just get a lot of beer.
True. I like that. That sounds good.
All right, sorry, Josh. I didn't mean to derail you.
No, you're good. Listen, everybody should share their first Michelle Bell story, where they met and how they met. I think that's
actually could be a whole podcast. I feel
it could be. It could be. You get guests for hours and hours and days. It's just a 24-hour live stream.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So, Josh, we have you on here today. We're gonna cover a case study this week, and so we've got you on to talk about a case study with Urban Closets and sort of how to promote or how suppliers are going to market. And so, while we kick into the topic, why don't you maybe give us a quick rundown of what we're talking about today, if you could?
Yeah. So the Urban Closet idea really started 2016. I was working national accounts for Cutter and Buck at the time, and I would love to say that it was like this great epiphany of an idea, but it was really about streamlining how I carried samples when I traveled, and then it morphed into this idea that there's got to be a better way to show a product line, outside of showing up with a rolling rack and 80 samples and having people shuffle through it and just kind of get lost in the fray. So the idea, was really built out of ease of process. And then it turned into this whole branding exercise of trying to draw this parallel between how we consume goods outside of our daily lives and then how we present and sell and consume goods in this industry. And, to me, showing something or showing a line or merchandising a line that is a little bit more tailored to what your customers are looking for, it creates a couple things: better habits from a communication perspective, but then the ability to really showcase our ability as suppliers to merchandise a program and not just be sort of a one hit transaction.
We've really been kind of kicking that around for maybe a couple of years now, guys, Meg and Stephen. I know, especially when we do like the live trade show reviews and things like that, we always talk about how people are exhibiting differently, and creating experiential marketing versus just throwing crap up on a wall. So this kind of fits hand in hand with that. So I'm kind of digging it. How long have you been doing this urban closet approach, and have you seen any type of results from it that you can speak to?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been doing it almost exclusively since that first, it was a Facilis show in 2016, since that first show. And the success metric is really, has across now 3 suppliers, but the success metric is really in stickiness of program involvement. So what it enables us to do is help our customers build programs around what we're showing them, not put pieces into existing programs. And I think there's this defined difference of being somebody's 4th or 5th call and being somebody's branding expert. And I'm not a self-professed branding expert by any stretch, but I think there's credence to taking something that's different, that's memorable. And, as I guess maybe Meg would attest to, I'm like a weird guy. So take my personality plus, this kind of newness for presenting product. And it's worked out really well. And we're in the process of rolling it out to our sales force.
So before we get into results, explain to listeners what this urban closet looks like. So let's get a visual on this. What does this look like? And then I want to talk about challenges. So let's get the visual on it first. What does that look like?
Yeah. So the idea I had was to, if you were living in like a New York City studio apartment, 300 square feet, shared bathroom, no kitchen kind of a vibe. I set up this closet. I think the original one I bought from Uline or something. And really what it is like 3 shelving units down one side, and then the ability to hang max 12 garments on the other side. So the way that I usually set them up is I'll have a hat and an overnight bag and a pair of sneakers on the 3 shelves, which have absolutely nothing to do with what I'm selling, but I think it kind of sets off the whole vibe of, a shopping experience. And then I usually do like a week in the life of a corporate traveling person, right? So you have 2 travel outfits, you have a day in the office, maybe a golf outfit or a team outing kind of a vibe, and then something that somebody could wear, like giving a factory tour or something like that. And it's all sort of merchandised together in a color story with cohesive branding. At Vantage specifically, we're known for our decorations. So I've kind of mixed up the mediums, with how we brand that way. But really the idea is to be able to put like a full branded experience in front of people that their brains tie into consumerism versus I'm doing my job and, buying 100 polos for my client kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
So
and go ahead. No, go ahead, Stephen.
No, I'm just curious as when you kind of prepare for this, especially when you're going to go into a show, there's always this fine line between showing the most amount of products you can so you don't miss something and being able to merchandise it in the right way, which means you have way less product, in order to do it effectively. So how do you kind of go through that process to figure out what to show and not to show and how to do it?
Yeah. So I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, and that's okay. But I really
love unpopular opinions.
I really, really, really struggle with the distributor that walks up to our booth, regardless of where I've worked in my career, and says, "What's new?" I hate that question. I hate it. Right. Everything is new. When is the last time you purchased from us?
Yeah.
Never. Then literally everything's
new.
Right. So with that in mind, I'm always sort of, I tweak it, right? It's based on where I'm going or where we're going as a company. But the idea is to not just sell something to somebody that looks cool, it's shiny, it's new, it's amazing. I don't want to show somebody something that is so new there's no inventory for 6 months, right? Like we love to do that in our industry. Check out this new thing in March. I'm really excited to give it to you in October. Like the moment is gone. So I traditionally do it based on best sellers, best-selling colors, attach some branding to it, and then make the story about how, you've been buying from us. Here are these 3 new things, but then here's how it merchandises with the core items that you're already purchasing for this program, and make it, a story about that versus, I'm sorry I didn't bring this forest green quarter zip.
Is it all right to share the photo that Meg sent to me?
Yeah, please.
Cool.
Please.
So we'll throw that up in the middle. I know it's small on the screen, but if you guys blow this up, whether you're on YouTube or watching on Facebook, you should be able to maybe blow that up. But there's an idea of sort of what Josh has been doing with the urban closet. So keep that up for a few more seconds. Anything in specific? Like you said you have ordered these from different places. Are they always sort of the same layout, or are there different types of?
Yeah, they're almost exclusively the same. This one actually came from the MGM Grand, I think, as I was doing a show there. But I get them from Target. You can get them from Walmart. They're $50 or $60. They're fairly durable. They break down into, like a T-bar size rack bag, or if it's a situation where you absolutely have to leave it behind, it costs you $60. It's not a huge expense, but again, the idea is visual aesthetic. So not overloading. I merchandise things, so like a base layer and then an overknit, or a base layer and overknit and a jacket. So it allows somebody to take the hanger off the rack and see kind of a double or a triple layer of what something might look like in a program. So you get a little bit more bang for your buck. I don't just bring 8 or 9 pieces. It's usually merchandised to show what that might look like.
And I think this gives the distributor or the end buyer a better sense of what the story is telling you, what it looks like. And we preach this all the time about experiential selling, to the point where even at Promotions East, we were doing these experiential booths where if it's tailgating, we want you to walk into this booth, this experience, and feel like you're tailgating. This is what people are wearing. This is what people are drinking out of. This is what they're singing from. I don't know, but it's laid out so you feel like you're in there. Now with your setup, I feel like I'm in, Urban Outfitters or Target or wherever, picking out a whole outfit, and I'm like, okay, this is a week-long adventure that I'm going on. These are the items that I'm going to need. It really helps them visualize it and tell that story. So I really love this. So
well, and I think too, I'm sure everybody's been a part of this, right? Where you have a customer who always buys this one singular product from you, right? And that's what they buy. They don't really deviate from that, and that's fine. But we have to remember that their customers do the exact same thing. And part of what I think has been impactful with this is, if you walk through, especially in an end user environment, and you walk through with a distributor and their end customer, and that end customer has only ever purchased polo shirts from this distributor, but now they see the polo shirt that they've purchased, a quarter zip that goes with it, a jacket that goes with that, and then something else that rides along. Now, all of a sudden, it kind of puts into motion this thought from the end buyer that, my distributor who I like, and I love these black polo shirts, they also do all this other stuff as well. And I think it's just like a built-in upsell. And it kind of, again, I hate to say it like this, it kind of makes it dummy proof. Like it's right in front of you. So
I'm going to make a statement, and you tell me if you think this is accurate or not. And this is no way an indication of the products that you represent. This is more of just a general statement. So would you agree or disagree that a well-merchandised booth is actually better than good product? In some ways, it's
1,000%.
So I mean, it's like a no-brainer question. Like, how many times have you walked into a booth because it looks awesome, and you get in there like, okay, but doesn't it tell us? I mean, I feel like there's so much that's told by a company that knows how to bring their products to market, almost more than the products themselves, because it shows you that they've got some level of thought about how it can be used, their ability to present it, to display it online, to give you sales tools to help you with it. I mean, there's so much intangible storytelling behind a well-merchandised booth.
Yeah. I mean, I think the reality is, and it's the perfect point. As consumers, we're story consumers, right? Think about branded merchandise outside of what we do on a daily basis and how those companies get their hooks in, right? it's not always about the best product. It's about the best marketing and how it ties into what you're looking for in your own life. And I mean, if there's a greater percent than 1,000%, I agree. A well merchandised booth and a setup that allows people to realize that they're immersed in a shopping experience beats the best top stitching on planet Earth. Like, it just hands down.
There's some more that can be said about that, because
Yeah.
while I don't disagree with anything that you guys are saying, I will add sort of a little bit of a counterpoint. And that is essentially, I think with the merchandising or well-merchandised booth, you're talking about the sizzle, and you're 1,000% correct. It gets them in. But if the steak tastes like crap, or if it gets you sick, or any of that stuff, you're not coming back. You know what I'm saying? So quality product is of utmost importance, and ultimately, we are in a commodities driven business. Yeah. And so you're talking about, it's going to come down to price, quality, or services. And so, those things have to be there. Like, that's the core. And I understand what we're talking about is sort of taking it to the next level once you have those three in place to then be able to drive more business or traffic into what you're trying to put out there.
I agree. I think the counterpoint I would make, which I agree, I totally agree with it. I have probably missed out on a lot more good product because of bad merchandising than I have the other way around. So, I mean, I'll find bad product in well-merchandised booths and then move on, but I'm going to miss tons of good product because of bad merchandising.
I think to your point, Jeff, you need a hook. And once the hook is there, your stuff can't suck. You have to make great stuff. There's no doubt about that. And I think, from Vantage's perspective, it's the ultimate in case studies, right? We make great stuff. Now, how do we go about differentiating in the industry's most commoditized markets, right? Golf shirts and quarter zips. I mean, how do you do that? And I think you do that by presenting differently and gathering that attention. And then all of a sudden you have the product to stand back on.
And now you're not just getting the polo order, you're getting all of it. You're getting the hat, the quarter zip, the shoes, the socks, all of that. So I know we're running out of time. So quick question, Stephen, as a distributor, A or F on this presentation type?
I mean, A. I mean, I love presentation over. I mean, like I mentioned before, I probably have skipped plenty of places that would have provided tons of value from a product perspective, but I didn't think the company had it. You know what I mean? Like, when you look at it and you walk by it, 20 seconds, if you had to give a percentage of increased traffic between the way the old did it and new did it with Urban Closet, I'm scrambling with words. Could you give us anything that you could guess?
I mean, I think it's at least a 50% increase in traffic, but it's really the increase in retention that matters. I think people are coming back.
Perfect.
Are we trying to count down your fingers backwards? I can't do it.
It was my fault. I didn't give you enough time. I was running the words out fast.
Oh, it was funny. No, I saw your fingers. I'm like, what numbers are you making?
I was like 9. That's what I did. And I'm, help me with my arithmetic. The last thing I really want to ask is, we didn't really get into the challenges of all of this, but is there any challenges that you came across while you've been doing this? Was there anything that were like, man, this is what's holding me up? But I feel like we want to see that side of it too. And that'll be the last question and we'll move on.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest challenge is sort of like institutionalized traditionalism, right? We're such a traditional industry, and the first couple of years of this, mostly distributors who'd been around for a long time kind of look at it and say, well, how many colors does this come in? And, I can answer that question, right? You can have a catalog, you can have a swatch card, you can have all of these things. But the reality is that it's not the point of the presentation. The point of the presentation is to kind of drill into what a program setting looks like. So there was some pushback at the onset. I had one dude who will go unnamed, so will his company. Maybe my second or third one that was really vocal about how much he hated it and he wanted the whole rack and the whole thing. And then he walked away with the way that he walked away, which I'll leave also unnamed. But you guys get where I'm at. Yeah. And I knew immediately that we were doing the right thing. And that's what matters. Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, I will say, just from the outside looking in, because I don't do apparel. I do hats are apparel, but when I only sell hats, like they collapse on each other and they go inside of a suitcase. My setup and teardown is really easy.
Right.
So one of the challenges I can certainly see with something like this is essentially, this is a lot more difficult to sort of transport. When you're talking about going from meeting to meeting or traveling with it or anything like that. Now, you mentioned, how to sort of combat some of those things, but that would be my biggest challenge is, this is way more difficult to put together or set up or whatever than a rolling rack that you basically take directly out of your car and straight in.
Yeah, it can be. And I think, the ones that I've been using recently are quick setups, right? They're 5, 6, 7 minutes, whatever it is. My caveat to the caveat is a lot of apparel suppliers, Vantage included, uses these spider racks at, tabletop shows, and they're a nightmare. I don't care how great you are at setting up those spider racks. They're a nightmare. And merchandise, clothing, like you're selling something out of the back of your car.
Yeah.
So I would rather take the extra 10 minutes and make it look all right than use that thing. And, they're not easy either. Like they're really good. So.
And you're in a very unique position being on the decorating side of things and being like a free freight decorator or PSST or whatever it is. So you can really go in and show the decoration things and teach people how to step outside of the box. So I will leave it at that. I know, do we want to talk about really any feedback from the social media pages like that kickback that we do?
Yeah, no, I saw some feedback from the TikTok post last week with the Super Bowl, which was an exciting adventure for the two of us. So we appreciate you guys tuning into the different social platforms that we're on, and we'll continue to try to give you some more pictures, images behind the scenes of some things as we go. So we appreciate that feedback. And I would encourage anyone out there as well, if there's a case study, a company, or a creator within the industry that you think would be good for us to talk to or dive into, we would love to. We've got some things lined up, but we are open to feedback and would love to continue to dive into some things that would be interesting to you all as well. So,
yep, we've really only hit creator or content and case studies and companies so far. We haven't really hit any creators, so I think we should definitely be looking into that pretty soon. So stay tuned.
And I have a very big announcement to make next week. So I would love everyone to tune in for that. So big announcement coming soon.
Awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
I'll tune in. I won't be here. But
yeah.
All right. Well, and with that, I just wanted to, again, thank our sponsors, ASI with Promo Alliance. Look, again, with global promo marketplace becoming more interconnected, savvy North American distributors and suppliers are interested in learning more about international promo businesses who are strategic, respected, and reputable. Promo Alliance, an initiative between ASI, PSI in Germany, and Sourcing City in the UK, is a platform to promote networking and sharing of industry knowledge and data on a global level, believing that leveraging reciprocity of ideas in the international promo marketplace makes us all stronger, smarter, and more successful. So go to promoalliance.com to get exclusive data on promo markets in North America, Europe, and the UK, information on global trade shows and events, assistance in networking with promo professionals in other countries, access to webinars with top professionals in the global promo markets. For more information, reach out to Michelle Bell at ASI, who has been covering the international promo marketplace for 25 years, and her email is mbell, that's Bell, obviously, at asicentral.com, and tell them we sent you. Thank you so much, ASI, for sponsoring, and until next time, guys, we'll be seeing you.